Worf, Togana lo Praetor. Worf, Togana lo Praetor. Worf, Togana lo Praetor. Stumata Chandoborak.
That was not a Klingon song.
It wasn't easy to translate. There doesn't seem to be a Klingon word for jolly.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are veteran Trekkies, and Dory is a newly minted Trekkie, and we are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek: The Next Generation. Continuing on our Season 7 journey, today we're discussing the episode Parallels. Original air date is November 27th, 1993, and as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay, so we start off. Worf is in a shuttle. He's returning from the Batleth competition in Forecast 3. Conditions were difficult. Several contestants were maimed, but I was triumphant.
Wait, Dory,
Worf,
you were?
me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I won this competition.
Shit.
So Worf won champion standing. Good for you, Worf.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying this as he's doing a personal log, and I wasn't entirely sure if personal logs were video or just audio.
It's
So I was like,
inconsistent.
Worf really just be manhandling his trophy for just his own, like holding the trophy up for nothing. But no, the personal logs are video.
Yeah,
logs too.
all logs in Star Trek are video unless otherwise specified.
I think because I've been watching Brave Strange New Worlds. I constantly forget what this show is called. If it's Brave or Strange New Worlds. I know one is a book, one is the TV show, unrelated, but it feels like every time they do a log, they're like walking around doing something else. So I'm like, they're not, there's no video being involved. I have some, you guys, I got to talk about something that was in an episode of Strange New Worlds later. It is relevant to this. We'll talk about after. This is not going to be spoilers, but it is something I think must be brought up later. Okay, so Worf. Oh, he's okay. So he has the trophy. It is like kind of pretty sharp. It's got like a big like piece on it that's looks very sharp, and
It's like a sphere with like three like curved blades coming out of it.
yes. So back on the Enterprise, Riker tells Worf that they have to go to this structure called the Argus Array because there's a malfunctioning, there's an issue with it, and it's like the third time they have to go back, and it's like this is getting kind of weird and might be on purpose or something. And he starts to like say something to Worf, but Worf just kind of zones out for a sec. And then Riker is like, oh, you're like very tense for someone who just got back from vacation. And then Worf's like, yeah, it's my birthday. And I was like, they're standing outside of Worf's quarters. And in that moment, I have never understood Worf clearer.
Yep.
Because I immediately was like, oh, I know exactly what his fear is. Because that's, Worf is scared about a surprise party.
Yeah.
Number one, I hate surprises. Number two, that is my nightmare. I never want a surprise party.
Yeah.
I don't like to be surprised. A surprise party, honestly, would make me feel kind of paranoid.
Yeah. And like Worf's description of it is absolutely perfect. He says, what is it? An unexpected social gathering, which is my nightmare. I need to prepare for a social gathering.
Yes, yeah, Worf says, because it is my birthday, I assumed that you or one of the others would try to mount an unexpected social gathering. And then Riker goes, a surprise party? Mr. Worf, I hate surprise parties. I would never do that to you.
He says it very sternly.
I immediately wrote, I do not believe for one single second that Riker does not like a surprise party. Riker screams I love a surprise party.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I can't remember for sure, but I feel like they did do a surprise party for Riker at one point. I know they've done parties for Riker. I just don't remember if it was surprise or not. But like Riker is a party guy.
Yeah, I can't remember
I feel like he's
if
a very
they have,
social.
but it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Yeah, it feels like it's something Riker. So I was like, I do not believe him for 1 second. And then I was like, now I'm on edge. Now I'm tense. And so Worf goes into his quarters. He puts the trophy on a table and this table is at the perfect height for someone to trip and then get impaled on this trophy. So I'm like, I hope.
I don't think it's that
move
sharp
it.
because he grabs the blade with his hand. With his
True,
blade.
But
yeah.
listen, it doesn't need to be that sharp. You trip
It
at a
is
certain
pointy.
thing,
Yeah.
and
You're right.
you can get impaled with a lot of different shit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's rules, but I was like, no one let Alexander near this thing because it looks like a child hazard or something.
Yeah.
So slowly then like we sort of pan over and then surprise, it's the crew with a few randos also. And then like Riker comes in. He's like, just kidding. And then I wrote, where's Alexander? And then Riker puts Alexander is not there. I say, where is he? But he's not there. That is explained though.
Yeah, they
I
do
should note
address
that is
it.
explained. So Riker then puts a party hat on Worf's head and goes, I love surprise parties. And then I wrote validation. For me,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel validated that Riker would of course
for
love
being able
surprise
to tell
parties.
that he was a party guy, yeah.
Yeah. I just wrote validation. Worf is me in this scenario. And then Dr. C brings out what looked to me like a crazy chocolate cake. Affectionate. Like that looked great.
Yeah.
And then they sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow, I assume in Klingon.
Yep.
And then I noticed in the opening credits, in which for a second I thought I misread and had to go back 10 seconds on Netflix. Special appearance by Will Wheaton. And so immediately I was like, okay, so now I guess I'm on Wesley watch, waiting to see when he shows up, because I'm like now excited. And I was like, oh God, why is he there? What's he there? There's no way he like came in for Worf's birthday, because they have never showed any kind of like friendship or whatever. So I'm like, I have no idea how he would fit into this. He does fit into this in a kind of wild way. Okay, so Worf blows out the candles, and he does point out that was not a Klingon song. And Troy's like, yeah, listen, it was not easy to translate. There are no Klingon words for jolly. So Dr. C then hands Worf what I call a bagel knife.
Yeah.
And to cut the cake, and then Worf
But it
has
doesn't
murder in his eyes when he eats
have
the
the
cake.
ridges of a normal like bread knife.
Yeah, it's a very dull. You'd have a hard time really cutting anything with like that's not cake. Maybe it's a cake knife. I don't know. Are there designated cake knives?
Yeah.
I don't know. So he holds the knife. He cuts the cake, and Data gives Worf a present, and Worf opens it, and he goes, a painting. And then Data goes, yes, I have entered my expressionist phase. This is my interpretation of the Battle of Horus. And then Troy goes to the wall and immediately takes down this shield that's on the wall, and then puts the painting, and she's like, I thought there should be more color in here.
Yeah, because Data's painting is like very bright and colorful.
Yeah. So then Geordi goes by, and he goes, oh, no. And then he immediately clocks the painting, and he goes, oh, nice. Battle of Eros, right? And then Worf kind of like does spaces out for like a second, or like kind of goes wonky. And Geordi's like, you okay? And then Dr. C hands them slices of cake. And I wrote, wasn't that an all chocolate cake? I was like, is this a continuity error, or is this something? Because when she hands him the cake, it's got chocolate icing, but it's got what Worf called yellow inside. I would assume that's like vanilla or something, but
Yellow
cake.
Yellow cake is its
that a
own thing, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yellow cake?
Yeah.
Interesting. I am not familiar.
Yeah. I think it is just vanilla flavored, but it's called yellow cake.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not know that.
Like, if you look for boxed cake, you will find, like, yellow cake mix.
Oh, okay. I don't, not to toot my own horn, but I don't really use cake mix. I bake my own stuff. But that's for other reasons. It's no offense to anyone who does use it. I like baking.
Yeah.
I like doing the whole process. Okay, so then Worf also actually points this out, which made me feel validation again. When he's like, oh, wasn't this all chocolate cake? And then Troy just goes, don't I wish. And then, we got an Alexander mention. So he actually went to go visit Worf's parents, aka the best characters in this entire show, period. And he gave Troy a present for Worf to give to him before he left to go see Worf's parents. I know in real life this is not like, because I know his mom died in real life, like the actress who played Worf's mom died in real life.
Yeah.
But I like to think that like Worf's parents are doing well in the fictional world of it all, because I really liked his parents, especially his mom. Okay.
Oh yeah, they can always recast her.
Oh gosh, no, that woman was iconic. No recasting. Okay, so then we see Worf opens the present, and it is a cast of Alexander's forehead, and which symbolizes it's the ridges of a warrior. I was like, listen, that's a wild gift in my opinion, but the gift is not for me. But Worf seems to love it, so I'm glad for Worf.
I think it's supposed to be.
It seems very nice.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the equivalent of like, you know how sometimes like parents get
like
their
baby feet or something.
baby's footprints, that sort of thing.
Yeah, a baby feet.
But in this case, it's his makeup cast.
Yeah. So I'm very happy for Worf. Seems like he was really excited about the gift. So Troy watched Alexander while Worf was at the tournament for like a tiny thing. She feeds Riker some cake in the background, and I did clock that.
Yeah.
It really does nothing, but I just was like, oh, she fed Riker cake. Okay, so then Picard jump scare, because when Riker was walking Worf to his quarters, he was like, "Oh, Picard can't make it or whatever." Or no, someone's at some point he's like, "Oh, Picard's on the bridge, he's busy."
Yeah, after the party starts, Riker's like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, the captain couldn't make it. He was needed on the bridge."
Yeah, and then like Picard is just like there at the party eating cake, and he's like, how old are you, Worf? Which honestly did not seem like the kind of question that Picard would ask Worf.
Yeah.
That seemed really out of character for him. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? This feels very bizarre to me. And then, everyone's just kind of like very interested in knowing Worf's age. But he's old enough.
Yeah.
It was a good answer.
Okay, so, yes, I did like that. I did get a little chuckle out of it. Okay, so now the Enterprise we get at the Argus array, and Data says that it seems to be functioning normally, but it wasn't relaying it. Data also they say Data so many times in this episode, but not the person Data. They say like information alternative word Data, and so I kept capitalizing it because I'm used to doing that. So every time I wrote Data, now it's like very messy because it's a lowercase and an uppercase at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's like an issue with it. It's still relaying the data outwards, but not to the Federation. It's being redirected to sector 19658, and Data is unable to access its main computers, so impossible to determine its exact location. But like no one lives over there. It's uninhabited, but like maybe someone popped over for whatever. So Riker suggests they beam a repair team to the array, and they will download the imaging logs and find out what the fuck's been going on over there for the last 6 days. So Worf then enters 10 forward and sits down at Troy's table. He wants to talk to her about Alexander, and I just wrote, he better not be asking her to like fully take care of Alexander full time. Like, Worf, you can't put that on someone else. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Then he says, at times I have felt that you were like a mother to him. And then Troy goes, Worf, that's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me. I'm unsure if that
Was sarcastic?
No, I think she meant it earnestly. I am unsure if that is, I don't know how to say this without it sounding really mean. So you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm going to, for once in my life, think about what I'm saying, and I'm just going to say I'm glad for Troy that this was that she was very happy to hear this. I'm happy for Troy.
But
Okay.
basically, you would not take it as a compliment.
No, it's not that I wouldn't take it as a compliment. I just think that is like, if this is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to Troy, I'm like concerned about Troy's life.
I don't know. That's not mean.
It's not mean, but it's like, for that, the nicest thing is that her being, that's the thing, is like, I'm biased because I don't have a lot of interest in motherhood, but I know that Troy does have interest in motherhood, right? So to her, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like an insult. I think that's a very nice thing to say to someone. For it to be deemed the nicest thing anyone's ever said,
Yeah.
that is a bummer to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's fair.
Troy. So if that is deemed the highest compliment for anyone listening, that is totally fine. Listen, to each their own. I see why my initial reaction is just like,
yeah,
if that's the nicest thing that's ever been said to you.
Yeah.
That okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a knock on motherhood. It's just like,
it's
a frustration that
there's got to be other things. Someone has got to have said other nicer things to Troy other than
women are more than mothers.
Yeah, there's no way that people have got to have said other things to Troy that are deemed nicest. I don't know. I feel like there's other things.
Yeah, I also don't necessarily think like that was literal. Like, because
I do, by the way that she answered that, I do think she truly meant that. Because I do know the nicest things that have ever been said to me, and I remember those. I have two very distinct things, and I'm sure that this is something she would remember. And I don't think, I wouldn't say it willy-nilly that, oh, this is the nicest thing that's ever been said to me. Or maybe have I? I don't know. I just feel like she was in earnest. And I just think I'm glad I'm glad for Troy. I just wish there were other things that she heard that was nice as well. That the nicest thing is being a mother to us. It's fine. It's really not that big a deal. I think it just is like, there's more out there for you, Troy. There's more. There's more. Anyways, we'll have to see how much of this we keep in. I don't know how I feel about it. I just don't want to offend anyone, and I think it's fine. It bummed me out.
Yeah. I don't think that's
That's
fair.
what I mean.
Like, I don't think that's
for me, if it was me, I think it is a nice compliment. But if that is the nicest thing, that I am bummed for Troy.
Yeah.
Because Troy deserves everything. And after this episode, she deserves everything and more. Jesus Christ. Okay. So then he's like, basically proposes for her to basically be his godmother, and Alexander's godmother, not Worf's godmother, which I do think is nice. I actually am very on board, and she's on board with that, which is like what's important. And because at first I was like, oh no, we better not be going in the way that I thought we were.
Yeah.
And no, he does not be like, can you become his primary caregiver?
Yeah.
He's just like, if anything happens to me, I know that I can trust you to take care of him.
Yeah.
So that I like. And then she's like, so what does that make me to you? And then he goes, essentially my stepsister.
Yeah, he's like the closest like translation is stepsister.
Yeah. And then Troy goes, that might be my favorite moment in this whole season. So far. She goes, "That would make my mother your stepmother." And then the panic in Worf's face is incredible. And then he goes,
Yeah, his facial expression is amazing.
He goes, "I had not considered that. It is a risk I am willing to take." But just the panic in his face with just the idea that one day, or just like that, he'd have any kind of a technical attachment to Luxana is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
She'd have to learn his name. Anyways, Troy accepts. She is like all on board. Okay, so then Worf gets called to engineering, and we learn that the array was reprogrammed to observe several Federation sites that are related to like new starship developments, and someone is using the array for covert surveillance of the Federation. And then they find 6 days ago a Cardassian ship was spotted near the array. So Worf is told to scan the area for other ships that are like related to that ship, or like, you know, have that same, what's the word, like type or whatever.
Yeah.
So then Worf kind of like wilts, goes like faint or something, and then he's like, "Oh, I feel dizzy." And then he looks around, and we've kind of musical chairs the room.
Yeah.
Data was initially standing beside Worf, and then Geordi and Picard were across from them on the other side of the console, and now Geordi is beside Worf. Data is now across from them, and there's no Picard. So Worf goes to sickbay, and Dr. C says that he might still be experiencing side effects from the concussion. She's about to give him medication, but he's like, "Oh, I don't have a concussion." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, you came in this morning with like ringing in your ears, and we scanned you, and we're like, yeah, you got a concussion." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't remember that." Mm-hmm. She's like, "Do you remember telling me about the Batleth tournament? And one of the competitors hit him over the head, and that's why he lost the match?" And Worf was like, "Oh, absolutely not. I won that match. I don't know what anyone's talking about. I won the tournament. Like, how dare you?" And he's like, "I can prove it to you." And so Worf brings Dr. C to his quarters and shows her the trophy, but it's missing the like spiky bits. Mm-hmm. And it says 9th place. I'm like, they're giving out 9th place trophies.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, listen, to each their own. But that
maybe it's like top
such
10
a
or
specific. Maybe I just thought, like, what a weirdly specific place to get a trophy.
That, you know, now that you say that, I'd never thought of that before. Why are they giving a whole ass trophy? Even if it's a small trophy, why a whole ass trophy for 9th place?
For 9th place.
I mean, you don't know how many people were competing, to be fair.
True.
Yeah, but just that seems like a wild.
Also, this was the 90s. They gave participation trophies for everything.
Yeah, but the participation trophies were never actual trophies. They're just like those shitty ribbons.
Yeah, okay, that's
I also
true.
feel like something like this kind of tournament does not give out participation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 9th place
Look,
isn't
that one
nothing,
was a guess.
I guess,
We don't know
but
how many people were competing. There could have been like 150 people competing.
Oh, one thing I do want to, just to get this off my chest about the participation trophy shit. Number 1, boomers are the one that gave them to us. Number 2, we didn't fucking want them. No one wanted their participation trophy.
Yeah, most of the time they just got thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting like participant like badges, but I was like, I'd rather just have a second freezy at track and field day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't need one. I know I vaguely participated, not in everything, a couple of things, but I'm like, listen, I don't, just give me another freezy and I'll be quiet and sit there nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so
just let me suck in peace.
Yes, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Actually, literally twice in 2 different ways.
Oh, true, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I was like, at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So then Worf plays his personal log because he's like, yeah, I did a whole monologue in my personal log about how I won. And then it is fully different from the one that we see at the beginning of the episode, where he's like, yeah, this guy like sucks, and I came in 9th place, and that's a bummer. I was like, And even Worf is like, wait, what the fuck is happening now? I'm so confused. But Dr. C is like, yo, memory loss is totally normal. In this point, I was like, what is a crazier word to describe like gaslighting? Because I kind of was like concerned there was something nefarious going on here. At this point, I was like, there's something going on.
Like they're deliberately fucking with him?
Yes. Like not fucking with, but I was like, I thought that he was put in like I thought like he was cursed or something. And to be put in a situation where everyone was constantly gaslighting him, but he was the only one who knew he was being gaslit.
Yeah.
So I thought there was nefarious things going on. Okay, so back on the bridge, Data asks Worf, is he completed this other scan? And Worf is like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one told me to do any fucking scan. And then a Cardassian ship is spotted. And Picard calls him and he's like, hey, what you guys doing in Federation space? And the Cardassian captain is like, well, what are you doing so close to the border? And Picard's like, we're fixing a telescope. And the Cardassian captain is like, you wouldn't be using that to like spy on us or anything, right? Good luck on those repairs. And I'm like, I feel like we're also skipping the like major thing of like the Cardassians are in Federation space.
Yeah.
And he's just like, but you're really close to the border of our area. I'm like, but you're in Federation space, man.
Yeah.
Why was that so easily just like let go? Like he's there. They're there.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is kind of wild that Picard's like, yeah, no, we're just like fixing the telescope. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's like, sure, we're close, but you're fully in.
Yeah. Yeah. So Worf then is like, oh, that ship is who's responsible for reprogramming the array. It's the same class and energy configuration that we saw in the imaging logs. And then Picard's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then Data's like, Sam, I do not know what the fuck you're talking about. And Worf is like, uh-oh, what the fuck's happening? So then Worf is venting to Troy, and she comes in and he's like, I know I saw the logs, but Troy's like, oh, do you think it would make sense that like everyone's memory is wrong, but yours is right? And then Geordi comes in and he's like, oh, the logs show that don't show the Cardassian ship or like anything was reprogrammed or whatever. And so then like Worf slightly does like his little fainting bit, and then he notices the painting that Data made for him has been moved to a different wall, and then the painting changes to a ship. And then Troy's hair and clothing also change fully. And Geordi is like, hey, baby, we should go to sickbay. And then Worf goes like faint again. And then he wakes up on the bridge to like alarms going off and being told, now, Mr. Worf, by Picard. And he's like, what the fuck? And they're like, raise the shields. And he's like, what? But the panel configuration is different. And Worf's like, I don't fucking know how to do that. I don't know what's going on. And so the Enterprise gets hit, and Riker rushes up to the Worf's panel and then fires photon torpedoes at the other ship. And then they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. So they warp out. They were fighting the Cardassian ship. So the Cardassians then, after the Enterprise like bust ass to get out of there, they actually blow up the array. And so then we learned that Geordi is now in sickbay with really bad plasma burns, and there's like pretty bad damage done to the ship, but like they'll hold, like it's gonna be okay. And Riker and Picard are both like, Worf, what the fuck is going on? And Worf is like, yeah, I'm having like memory loss again. And they're like, what memory loss? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then Worf is like, I request to be temporarily removed from duty. And Picard's like, go for it, girl. So back in Worf's quarters, he notices a big bouquet of flowers, and the ship painting that was previously Data's painting is back on the original spot on the wall that Troy hung the painting. Different painting, original wall. And Worf tries to ask the computer for the personal log from the shuttlecraft, and they're like, doesn't exist. And then he's like, okay, cool, so like any logs then related to the Batleth tournament? And then we see a different personal log, and it's Worf being like, oh, some shit's happening here, I can't go to the tournament. And so he asked his brother Kern.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, fucking nailed it. Oh, fuck yeah. Because I actually didn't even write down. I just wrote his brother, and I was like, I'm hoping I will remember. But I was like, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Yes, off the cuff. Nailed it. Fuck yeah. And yeah, so Kern took his place at the tournament. Then Troy comes in. She's like, "Why'd you lock the door?" And then he's like, says something to her, and then he's like, "Counselor," and then she just like mockingly says, "Lieutenant," and I was like, "What the fuck's happening?"
She's like, "All
What's
right,
going on?"
Lieutenant." Yeah.
Yeah, and then she gets a hot chocolate from the replicator, and then goes and sits on his bed, and I was like, I'm noticing floral blanket on his bed also. And I'm like, what is happening?
Oh,
I'm
and
very confused at this point.
Yeah, did you
And
mention
she's like,
that,
"Come
like,
here."
when he walked in, he, like, death stares at, like, the bouquet of flowers that's on his table?
Yes. Yeah. I said that he like noticed the flowers. So she sits on the bed. He does this like great shot of like, you see him from the angle of like where his bed is. And so he like sideways, like he's peeking out through the side of the wall at her from the other room, and she's like, "Come here." And it's so fucking good, this shot of him. So he goes over to her and she takes down his hair, which I feel like is the first time we've seen his hair down in a really, really, like, in this length, this like configuration.
I think so.
And the crimpedness of it was like kind of wild, that it's crimped and then fully straight at the bottom. Very 90s. So then she goes behind him and she starts giving him a shoulder massage, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? He looks very uncomfortable, and then she like leans from behind him and kisses him on the cheek, and he like runs to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm your wife." And then the way that Worf and I said "wife" at the same time was actually very funny.
Well, because he's like that, I don't think this is inappropriate behavior, and she's like, even for your wife?
Your wife? And then exact same time, he went, "Wife?" Like, it would have been Jinx if we were both in the same place at the same time. So then, like, he's then explaining to her, one of the things I love is I love Worf and Troy's friendship, because he immediately, even though this like wife situation, he still is like her, like she's still his friend, and so he still feels comfortable like fully saying what's going on and like everything that he's experiencing. He's like, everything seems to be changing moment to moment, and he's the only one who is experiencing it. He doesn't remember them together though, but apparently they fell in love and got married 3 years ago, and I was like, what would that even look like? I can't even picture. It's so, I love their friendship, but like I can't picture a romance between them. There's something, I'm not like technically opposed to it, but I just can't picture it. So I really don't know what I would expect from it.
Or it's a pairing that like doesn't really fully make sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. But like he fully just trusts her, so he like tells her all this shit, and then she's like, yeah, I believe you, and we'll like figure shit out. So they go to engineering, and immediately she leaves. And then Worf grills Data about the relationship, and apparently they got together after Worf's spinal injury recovery. And he asked Riker for permission. I was like, okay, like I get it, it's the 90s, but
I think it was like,
to ask Riker, I don't know, I can't tell if he meant it in like a professional capacity, but I was like, wouldn't that be the captain? Or is it because they dated? I cannot figure out which one it would have been applicable for, knowing Worf.
To be honest, I mean, I think it is because they dated and like have like sort of a vague thing going on. But I also think it's just like, hey, we're friends, and I want to date your ex. Is that cool? I think that's more of what it was. Of just like a friendship, like courtesy kind of thing.
Yeah, the way Data phrased it made it like he asked permission. I was like, okay.
But I imagine like a Worf would be very formal with that shit.
Yes, I do agree with that. Okay, so Data then suggests to Worf that they should like figure out the first moment that Worf experienced the memory loss. And Worf immediately is like, sick bay. When Dr. C said concussion, I was like, no, cake. I forgot there was actually before this. But I was like, oh, it's cake. But then I think it was actually that Picard couldn't attend the party, and then he was there. So I think that might have actually been technically the first weird thing, but then they realize, oh, Geordi has been present at all the major memory loss moments. So then I was like, okay, is Geordi like, is someone disguised themselves as Geordi to fuck with Worf? Is this related to this tournament? Whoever like Worf beat is trying to fuck with him now? That is not the case. Okay, so Data and Worf go to sickbay to go speak to Geordi, and we are told that Geordi is dead. And I did not take that great. That made me very sad. I legit got teared up. And I was like, why am I having more of a reaction about Geordi's death than you guys?
Yeah.
Why am I getting very upset with this? And they're just like, all right, let's discuss over his dead body on the table. It's like, hello? What's happening?
Yeah, there really is, like, like they use the moment as a, oh my god, he died. Dun dun dun. Oh well.
And then,
Yeah,
then
immediately
commercial
move on.
break, and then back on to business. And I was like, wait, but Geordi, like, died, you guys.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, we got to test let's, like, see what's going on with the visor. And then they turn the visor on. Then we get, like, Worf kind of wilts again. And then he's actually, it's funny because they cut to Worf and he's already in a different uniform, and then he wilts.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes like faint for a second. And I was like, what? Oh, something to note that when they came into sickbay, it was a different doctor who
Yeah.
was there, Dr. Ogawa.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
then
she's
when
usually
Worf
Nurse
kind of,
Ogawa.
yeah, she's the, yeah. And then when Worf kind of goes faint for a second and he's like back up and he's wearing the red uniform, Dr. C is then there. And now he is the first officer of the Enterprise. He's a commander, still married to Troy. And his captain is Riker, which, like, as I've been saying for all 7 seasons, Worf is a Riker guy, so
Yeah.
of course Worf would be his first officer. Of fucking course. So then Data was like, oh yeah, but he does detect a quantum flux in Worf's RNA. So then he's like, okay, so the full version. So Data has found that a quantum flux in Worf's RNA extends to the subatomic level. He is asynchronous with a normal matter. And, okay, so Mr. Worf, database is like, Mr. Worf does not belong in our universe. So it's like, oh, okay, so we dipping into the multiverse, which, I mean, we technically have before.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what we're doing is, like, Worf is in the wrong reality. I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. Let's carry on. So Worf.
Oh, sorry. Just back to the sickbay thing for a brief moment. I just have to mention this, but Geordi is on the table, like, fully fucking naked, and they just have, like, the corner of the blanket over his crotch.
I noticed that.
yeah.
It's like, it's not covering his
Yeah.
leg, just his dick.
Yeah, there was no reason to
Yeah.
have him that exposed. Like, they could have just covered the lower half, like, fully with a blanket. I don't get it.
Or his whole body. Why did he need to be, like, so naked?
Yeah.
He, like, I could see, like, for like, not for modesty's sake, but, like, putting it up to his shoulders. If we wanted to be like, look, it's Geordi's face. But, like, wow, why so fucking low? That was kind of wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so Worf is from a different quantum universe. And they're like, everything in each universe is constant, but Worf is not constant in this universe. So Riker's like, yeah, Worf did not attend the tournament in this reality, and no one has taken a shuttle in the last month. And it all seems to start from Worf's return from the tournament. So let's, like, retrace our steps from Worf going from Forcus 3 to heading to the Enterprise, see if anything's, like, wonky out there. So we do learn that Riker has been captain for 4 years since Picard was killed in the Borg incident. And Worf does... Riker's like, you probably don't remember this, but Worf's like, no, I remember stuff, just, like, differently.
I actually
And then we're
really
on the
like that
bridge.
line.
Yeah, I do, same. And then we're on the bridge, and we see, so fucking casually, Wesley Crusher.
Yep.
He's just there now. He's just on the bridge. He's got Worf's old job, and he's just, giving out orders, and he's not even Wesleying him. He's just doing stuff. And he's like, oh, we picked up a minor subspace disturbance, and Data's like, oh, it appears to be a quantum fissure in the space-time continuum. Okay, so now we have group meeting. Always love group meeting. And so Data believes the quantum fissure they discovered is a fixed point across the space-time continuum, a keyhole in which intersects many other quantum realities. And so this is now Data's quote. He says, for any event, there is an infinite number of possible outcomes. Our choices determine which outcomes will follow. But there is a theory in quantum physics that all possibilities that can happen do happen in alternative quantum realities. And then Worf is like, so somehow I have been shifting from one reality to another. And then Data says, that is correct. So this was tentatively caused by Worf's shuttlecraft when he was coming back to the Enterprise. It came into contact with the quantum fissure, and Data believes that the shuttlecraft's warp engines caused a small break in the barriers between quantum realities. And Worf was sort of thrown into a state of quantum flux. And now he just is casually just shifting into other realities that are kind of triggered-ish by Geordi's visor. And the visor uses a subspace field pulse, and Data believes that whenever Geordi came near Worf, the field pulse intensified the quantum flux and pushed Worf into another reality. So Wes then suggests scanning the quantum fissure using subspace differential pulse to find Worf's original reality. Oh yeah, he's also lieutenant, and I just was like, oh my god, well, Wesley, you're lieutenant now? That's crazy. And so Troy and Worf go to their quarters, and she's like, this kind of got me.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, there's a good chance that her Worf will not return, and she just has to no choice but just to accept this. And also understand there's a reality where he doesn't love her.
Yeah, it was very sad.
And Worf does note that he's always considered her a close friend, which I do love. And then he's like, wouldn't be opposed to the possibility of a relationship. And I was like, I don't love it, but I don't. Maybe no. And then she drops a fucking bomb on him, and she's like, but what about the children? And they have 2 children, because essentially what happens to these, if Worf disappears, does the children also disappear? Is she effectively going to lose her husband and children in one fucking go? I don't entirely...
No. Her universe would still exist.
Yeah, it's not Back to the Future rules. It's just...
Okay, good. Oh my god, because I literally was
father would be gone.
Okay, because I legit was like, Troy somehow manages to suffer in someone else's episode.
Yeah.
It's not enough for her to suffer in her own episodes, but she got to suffer in a different episode. In every reality, Troy has to fucking suffer. But okay, I mean, she does suffer here, but okay, because I really was worried that meant that she was going to lose her kids too. And I was like, I'm going to lose it here because that's really sad. However, I do have some issues with one of their children's names. So they've got 2-year-old Shannara, which I think is cute. That's a nice name. And then 3-year-old Eric Christopher.
Yeah.
That is a mouthful of a fucking name.
It is a lot, yeah.
I really hope they just call him Eric or something, or
also,
EC. No, EC would be, but Eric. Why Eric Christopher?
Why is the what do you call it? The half Betazoid woman who grew up around Betazoid people, and the Klingon who wants to reconnect with his culture? Why are their favorite names that they chose together all Earth names?
I don't know.
Yeah, where did Eric Christopher bothers me so much?
Isn't one of those her dad's name?
No, her dad's name is Ian.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's where did they even get the names Eric Christopher?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
what was
her
the
dad
girl's
is
name
Ian.
Again?
Shannara.
That maybe I could see
that was fine. That seems
maybe that's a family
nice.
name in Worf's family.
To me that's a nice name, but Eric Christopher, I can't get behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I can't get behind Eric Christopher. That's a crazy name.
Yeah.
Especially like a baby, like a 3-year-old named Eric Christopher. That's kind of crazy.
Also, I guess
also-
they go to wherever Alexander usually goes to because there's no evidence of them.
Yeah, and so we do know there is no Alexander in this reality. So, but Troy, okay, I did right. So Troy still got to suffer in all realities.
Yeah. Because,
okay.
honestly, the children thing, I know why they didn't do it. You're not going to bring in, like, child actors for, like, 2 seconds. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, so you have 2 young children, and they are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. They have Alexander syndrome.
Yeah.
They're somewhere. Mentioned by name. But not their, what is it? It's like the Arrest Development thing. It's children should be seen and not heard, but children should not be seen and heard, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so back, I think we're on the bridge. Wes is still looking for Worf's reality signature, and then Bajoran vessel approaches, and we get the like other reality where the Bajorans have taken the place of the Cardassians. And my first thought was like, oh no, not, that would mean that like
Ensign
pretty high
Ro?
chance, that Ro would like not have been on the Enterprise. I miss her a lot. I hope all is well with her. It might be too much to ask that we get to see her one last time this season, but I would like to. Okay, so my theory then was like, is Worf gonna like get to his reality like the very last second before this Enterprise explodes or something?
Yeah.
That does not happen. Okay, so then all of a sudden, so they kind of interact with that space-time, the fissure thing, and all of a sudden a fuck ton of Enterprises just start appearing.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a cool shot of just like a bajillion Enterprises just like popping up all over the place.
It's an extremely good
really
effect.
cool.
They
Yeah, it
actually,
looks cool.
tiny behind the scenes thing here. They wanted to avoid the problem that they had with the cake in, the Troy cake. Because I told you about the story behind the scene about how like they didn't really know what was going to be happening about that. So like once the script was written, they started contacting the the special effects departments immediately, and they're like, we need to make this not look bad. We need to not use a bunch of stock footage to do this. And so they did shots for it individually, and then like I don't know how many exactly they did, but there's less of them than you'd think, but they still made very good use of it.
Yeah, it looked great. I really liked that. So then there's like the barrier between the quantum realities is breaking down. Realities are merging. Oh no. So then the Enterprise we're currently on, they are receiving 285,000 hails. And Data's like, we need to get Worf back through the quantum fissure, and like we need to fucking, if we can send him back through, we can maybe seal the fissure and everything can go back. And yeah, he just has to get back, and also the original shuttle. So they got to figure out his actual Enterprise, so he can be sent back to his Enterprise in the shuttle called Curie from that Enterprise. So he does. So Riker sends out a mass hail of like what's going on and what the signature is that they need to match. Fortunately, our Enterprise does respond, and everyone played it very cool, but it must have been so fucking weird to like fully just see yourself in these, like Riker gets to see himself multiple times, and must be fucking wild.
Yeah.
And him to talk to Picard, and at one point like Picard's like, yeah, sure, sounds great, we'll like send over the shuttle, and then he's like, it's good to see you, sir. And I was like, oh god. Oh.
Yeah. Did you mention before that this reality is like,
yeah, Picard died. Yeah. So that was like, oh god. Okay, so they do send on that Enterprise, they do send the original Curie shuttle. Worf saying goodbye to everybody and says goodbye to Troy through a very, I'll admit, it was like a very sweet kiss. And
I was
this,
actually
like,
a little uncomfortable with it because, like, I understand why he was doing it, but it's kind of like a stranger kissing her.
No,
it was like
it's,
a little
no, it's the opposite.
because he's the one that wouldn't be as, like, to her, she's just kissing her husband.
Yeah.
No,
I think
I mean in his case, like, he is essentially kissing a stranger.
But he knows her. It's not.
Yeah.
Well,
She's not a stranger to him.
He doesn't know the person that he spent the last,
Yeah,
she spent the last 3 years with.
No,
But he chooses to kiss her. That's the. I think
Yes,
if
I
it
know
was
that.
her going
I
to
know
kiss
that.
him.
I think
So
it's
I
a
don't
weird
think it's
situation.
No, listen,
It's not-
I agree that it's awkward, but it is a sweet gesture because, like, she doesn't know she's going to get her husband back, so he does this for her as a gesture, right?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
still an
yeah.
awkward situation, but I think it's
Yeah.
a sweet gesture.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I
So-
know that, like, their circumstances, like, they don't fully know each other in this version of themselves, but
Yes.
there's still a connection there.
But yeah, and I think he still cares about her enough to be like as a, like, she's a close friend, like that this is kind of a big deal for her, that this is going to change her, that this might change her life completely, and so it's like one tiny little thing for her to hold on to. So I think it was like, yeah, the situation is weird, awkward. I'm not super on board with them as a relationship. Like, I can't see it, but it's like, I don't know, whatever happens, but I don't, it's not, I don't ship it.
Yeah.
But, like, listen,
Apparently, they got equal parts, like, support and anger for doing this.
Oh.
But I think what probably bothered me the most about it, as a Star Trek fan, is the fact that they're doing this towards the end of the season. And
Yeah.
it's like, guys, there isn't going to be a payoff, and you know it.
I mean, yeah,
Because
but
they knew this
okay.
was their last season going in. Like,
Yeah.
they actively chose for it to be their last season.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost at the end of the recap. There's so much in this episode. Okay, so Worf goes to, he's in the shuttle, he's on track to go through the fissure, and then another Enterprise starts to attack Worf in the shuttle. And then Riker from the other ship, like, calls them, and it is a fucking wrecked Riker. And he's like, we don't want to go back to that universe. The Borg is attacking. Everything's shit. We don't want to go back. And this Riker is like, sorry, man. Like, we got to put things right. You got to
Yeah.
go back. And, like, so they have to then blow up that Enterprise. So, like, Riker has to effectively kill himself in a different reality, which is fucking crazy. So Worf does make it through the fissure, and then he wakes up on the floor of the shuttle. He calls the Enterprise, and I'm like, he really doesn't, though, do anything to make sure it's the correct one, other than, like, the fact that Picard answered. I'm like, but that doesn't confirm anything. But then he's like, oh, I've got my trophy, first place again. So now so he still won the tournament. He's happy with that. So now we're in Worf's, we go to Worf's quarters, and we're outside, and he's with Riker, and Worf's like, you can't fool me, Riker. I know that you got planned inside. And then Riker's like, I don't really know what the fuck you're talking about, man, but keeping on. And so now we're in the quarters. There is no surprise party. It's just Troy in there with a gift. But what I did notice, and this might have just been like continuity error, there was no shield on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing on that wall where Troy puts up the painting initially. There was a shield there at the beginning of the episode. It is not there. It is just an empty wall. So I don't know if that was just like they forgot to put something back up.
Oh, you know what?
Or they maybe just left it. Maybe it was always empty. I don't know. But I just thought,
think that means that it was, when he initially got on the ship, that was already a different reality.
It is.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
actually,
don't know if there was just always an empty wall.
The writer has actually addressed this. No, sorry, not the writer. It was the director who addressed this and flat out said, yeah, I didn't realize until after we directed the episode that technically at the very beginning of the episode, Worf is already in a different reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they accidentally. Okay.
Yep.
So it's kind of an accidental thing, but
Yep.
it works.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So Troy Riker wanted to do a surprise party. Troy talked him out because he's like, I know that you wouldn't vibe with that. And so then Worf, then she's like, also, I know Klingons like to be alone on their birthday, so like, it's cool. But Worf's like, hey, maybe you want to like come with me to my have birthday dinner together. And she's like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, is this gonna happen? Are we gonna get a Troy Worf relationship? I hope, I kind of hope not, but what's happening? I was like, I feel like they wouldn't, if like they're gonna do something, we'll find out soon. But my guess is probably nothing is gonna happen, because this show is notorious for not following through.
Yeah.
So
they give us a
I'm just
hint
gonna
that-
assume.
Yeah, they give us a hint that Worf is gonna pursue it, because like he like at the end he stands sort of awkwardly in front of the replicator, like trying to make a decision, and then he orders champagne,
Yeah.
and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, so I don't know. That I'm not entirely sure of, but I did really like this episode, though. I
Really?
think,
Yeah, it's a fun episode.
yeah,
That's
I
great.
did. Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it. This is one of my favorites of the season, personally.
Yeah, this was, I think, the best I've seen so far. This
Yeah,
is probably
it's a
my
very good Worf
best,
story.
my favorite episode this season so far.
I think what I like the most about it, actually, is the fact that for once, a man is in the position of something weird's happening to him, and nobody fucking believes him. And it takes him bringing it to Data for someone to finally take it seriously and start investigating it properly. And, like, normally they do that to someone like Dr. Crusher. And I'm just like, I'm glad they're doing it to a man this time.
Well, he did bring it to Troy, and she was like very understanding about it.
Yeah, she was sympathetic, but she
Yeah.
didn't, like,
She said she
start
believed him.
investigating. Sorry?
She said that she believed him and went with him to Data to go to try to figure it out. But then she
I
got
know.
called
I'm
away.
saying that it took bringing it to Data for it
Mm.
to really be taken seriously by others.
Oh, it took a man to have people take it into consideration.
You see the problem?
Take it serious.
You see the problem?
I do.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
still a show
yeah.
that is steeped in being made in the 80s and 90s.
Because they're like, yeah, Troy believes him, but she can't do anything to look into it. So
Yeah, she's just a
let's go
counselor.
to a-
She's the wife. Of
let's
course
just go
she'd
to a
believe
guy.
him.
Yeah, she can't do anything to figure it out, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
and this has
Troy.
actually happened before with issues with, actually, I think with Crusher, where Data's the one who started, like, investigating before anyone else would really take it seriously. Because Data is, of course, not
Oh,
biased in that
also,
regard.
Dory, did you notice that Data had blue eyes in that reality?
I didn't. No,
Yeah.
I didn't notice his eyes at all.
Yeah. Like when he
Oh.
goes to when Troy like goes with Worf to Data, he has blue eyes. And he has blue eyes all the way up until he gets the command uniform, the red uniform in sickbay.
Oh, wild. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I did not. I did not notice that at all.
Yeah.
Wild. But yeah. Listen, I thought Michael Dorn was amazing in this episode.
I agree. Yeah, he's fantastic in it.
I think he just did such a good job, and also to me this episode also to me proved that there's been growth with Worf, because I could see like season 1 or 2 Worf like fucking getting destructive
Oh, yeah.
about like why aren't people listening to me, what's going on, but he stayed like relatively calm, and he full out like told his whole story, everything to Troy, and I was like, that's fucking growth.
Yeah.
Worf has like a real ass friend that he trusts her, and like told her everything and was super honest with her, and he just like he was unfortunately had no choice but to be along for this ride, but like he never got fucking like, I think Worf I think is typically was a very reactionary person,
Very much so.
and
yeah.
this
and here he
this
didn't
episode
do
showed
that.
restraint.
Yep.
And I think that like was really great. I love that for Worf. I love character development.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure how you were gonna react to the Worf Troy stuff. Especially
I don't love it,
yeah.
but
Especially
Schorf?
since yeah. But especially since the since the Picard Crusher episode where you're like, no more relationships for anybody.
yeah. I mean, I think like the only like I don't like I don't love the idea of them in a romantic relationship, but I
Yeah.
enjoy their friendship and their dynamic so much
Yeah.
that
It's
I
like,
think I could like kind of just let like kind of, you know, suspend my disbelief.
yeah. It's not the best pairing, but it's not like the worst either.
No, I enjoy their friendship, and I was glad that we got to see more of that. That's something I have mentioned previously that I always want to see more of, is the friendships. Now, my next request is Geordie and Troy friendship stuff, because we don't get to see them friendship much, and they're
Yeah.
pretty
True.
fun. Honestly, I feel like Troy has such good friendship vibes with fucking everybody on this ship,
Yeah.
and I just want her to fucking hang out more.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to have like a fun beach day and have a nice fun time together. But I do like that, like, this and okay, I will be you want to know something wild?
Yeah.
I did notice who wrote this episode,
Oh yeah.
and so I did notice it was Brendan Braga, and so I was thinking, I was like low-key expecting this episode to, like, do I love the conclusion? Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. But I was expecting worse, because historically he builds up to a bunch of shit and then it's let down, like you're let down.
Yeah.
By the end, the conclusion is pretty like loosey-goosey, like feels like you gotta like tie things up really quick and like, oh god, we have to just do shit, or it's like just very anticlimactic to me.
Yeah.
But I did find this okay.
Yeah,
So
the
I
conclusion
had
was, like, satisfying enough.
it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the shot with all of the Enterprises showing up, I feel like that was like a lot more effective, I think, than they maybe, that kind of made sort of the end of it for me.
Yeah.
And like the seeing the other, like even the Borg Enterprise, the like absolutely destroyed Riker one.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for once it was like a fun episode-ish, but with like legit high stakes for like more than Worf. And it feels like the way that they did it, yeah, it was like, oh, we gotta like go have him go back through the fissure. It was like, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And, like,
I'm not gonna complain about that conclusion.
Yeah, 'cause-
So congratulations, Brendan Braga. I for once was like, you exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, 'cause this I feel is a very, like, grounded version of, like, the Mindfuck episode, which, like, Brendan Braga does a lot, and I feel like a lot of times he just uses that as an excuse to, like, not really plan or think through all the things that happen
Yeah.
in the episode. But for this, everything had a purpose. Everything had a reason. It was a
Yeah.
logical, like, conclusion to everything, and it built up and
Yes.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, like I was honestly had a lot of anxiety kind of like watching this episode, because I was like, I do not know where we're going with this. And then once we sort of like came to think, because yeah, when I saw his name, I was like, wow, expectations dropped
Yeah.
dramatically. And no, I think he did a good job. I think honestly, I very much enjoyed this episode.
I think what it comes down to with Brandon Braga actually is that I don't think he's a bad writer. I just think that he has certain ideas that he always goes back to. Sometimes he does those ideas really well because he is actually a talented writer, and
Yeah.
sometimes he doesn't because he gets hung up on the same ideas that he likes to do, and that's fine.
Yeah, and I think I've said this before, but I think Brendan Braga's a good writer. I don't think he's a good showrunner.
Yes, I
That's-
definitely agree with that. Which
that's
luckily
where-
we didn't have to deal with in TNG.
Yeah. But, like, and also, like, he's been writing more. Like, I think he does his best work when it's, like, you know, few and far between, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I
Like-
agree with that. I think there's a time and place for his kinds of stories, and I think they fit really well in Star Trek as long as they're not all the time.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he just I don't know anything about his writing process or anything like that, but what it feels like is that maybe he just needs more time to cook his ideas. And when he's on like a tighter writing schedule, he sort of just really leans into his crutches like a lot.
That's possible. I mean, he actually wrote a good amount of TNG episodes. I think it was something like 25 episodes. And some of them are considered like absolute staples of the show.
Oh yeah, but when you factor that in,
Cause and Effect is one of his.
Yeah.
And like that one, I really like going back to that one. Actually.
Oh, I love Cause and Effect.
But then like he's got some weird stuff coming up in this very season that we'll get to and we'll talk about and such. But like, it's not.
That's also that's like Cause and Effect is also a lot like simpler of a story where it's like more grounded, where it's like, okay, time loop, let's deal with that. This one is like
true.
Parallel universes, let's deal with that. Where some of his other ones get like kind of convoluted.
Yeah, I mean, he likes high concept sci-fi.
Yeah,
and that much is
sure.
very clear from like pretty much all of his stories. Like if I look through the list of what he's written, I could point out like 10 to 15 that are just high concept ideas that I can explain in a single sentence. But what it comes down to is that when he is at his peak with writing those kinds of stories, it's because they're spread out over the season, and also probably because he's with a good team. Like, because that is something that we downplay a lot in the show. We'll give credit to that writer, but like in the end, they are writing as part of a writing team.
Yeah, it's a whole writing room.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, to be totally fair, I do shit on the entire writing team when I don't like
that's
what they've
fair.
done. So,
so yeah, he technically, this is weird. If you think about his contributions to TNG, he didn't get involved until season 4.
Yeah.
His contributions to TNG for the time that he's with it are actually almost on par, if not slightly lower, than his contributions to Voyager, because he wrote 24 episodes to TNG in only 4 seasons, and 48, double that, across 7 seasons in Voyager.
Oh, wow.
So it's he really didn't write that much more for that. But the team around him is very different. Like there's a lot of stories about the writing team behind Voyager and how it was almost oppressive by the by the producers, which is not how it operated on TNG.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be said about the people behind it that aren't just the writer. And in the end, I think that Brannon Braga did more good than bad for Star Trek, because I think almost anyone at the helm throughout Voyager and Enterprise, when they were being like watched like hawks by producers, would have just gone downhill in very similar ways.
Yeah. I guess he's just very hit or miss, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
When it comes to his episodes.
Mm-hmm. He did Aquiel, actually, which is another one that I think was a big miss.
Yeah.
That was the one where Geordi has a crush on a possibly dead girl, and it turns out it was the dog or whatever. Oh no, it turned out it wasn't the dog, but the dog was like a red herring.
What? No, you have it backwards.
She was real. But the dog was the villain.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
She was on, like, this research station with one other person. That other person died. And she looks like the main suspect for the murder.
Right.
But it turns
She's
out
the
it was
red
the
herring.
dog. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dog did it.
She's the red herring somehow. And the dog is the murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a great episode. But yeah, now wild that they got Wes back for this.
Yeah, I know.
So actually they discussed the idea of possibly bringing Yar back for it instead, but they didn't think that the part really warranted that. They were like, we want it to feel not like we're doing yesterday's Enterprise again.
Yeah.
And like, yes, I definitely agree with that. But also they have other ideas at this point. So what do you call it? It's vaguely necessary for them to have chosen bringing Wesley back for it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm all on board.
yeah.
I enjoy Wes. It just was not expecting, like, when I saw the special appearance by Will Wheaton, I was like, how the fuck they gonna bring, like, I was waiting the whole time, just like, wait, like, how's he going to fit into this? What's he going to, like, how is he going to play into this? But it was very, I can't decide if I like the way they did it or don't, because, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, in the context of the episode, there is no reason for him to be, like, singled out, because he's just, like, a member of this particular crew. But I guess because we have not seen him in so long that it felt like, you know, that, like, Leonardo DiCaprio meme of, like, the pointing at the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it felt like that, but there was no one addressing the fact that, like, Wes was there. So I didn't expect it to be, I mean, it was fine. It's not my favorite thing. I would have liked a little bit more, like, surprise, it's Wes, but that might be a bit more, like, too sitcom for this.
Yeah. No, because honestly, I like the way they did it. Like, I like the way, in general, that, like, they sort of had a lot of things and, like, didn't comment on it, because the whole point is that, like, this is all normal for everyone else.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, in the
So-
context of this, I get why they wouldn't acknowledge she's just part of the crew.
Yeah,
This
and
is not different for them.
Yeah, and I think that having such a thing that is a big deal to the audience being, like, not acknowledged was also a deliberate choice. And
Oh, for sure.
like, I don't know, I like that, just because it's like, oh my, to me it makes it more effective, because it sort of puts you in Worf's shoes, because Worf has not seen Wesley for a long time, and he's not seen Wesley, like, you know, in this position where he's, like, you know, a
lieutenant.
a lieutenant, a regular member of the crew. So having that, it automatically puts you in, like lets you feel what Worf is feeling. Like, oh my god, this, like, huge thing is right here, but everyone's treating it like it's not a big deal, and this is weird.
Yeah,
So-
okay, that's actually a really good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Okay, you might have convinced me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I it's fine. Like, I don't have necessarily a problem with it. I just was expecting a bit more,
Yeah.
like, pomp and circumstance. But, like, yeah, I guess, like, the effectiveness of being put in, like, Worf's position does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But
I-
it was nice nonetheless to see
Yeah.
Wes.
I was a little surprised that they were able to get Will Wheaton, just because I can't remember. I'm not sure of the timeline of his sort of relationship to the show, because, like, obviously he's, like, older and embraced it now and that sort of thing, but, like, there was a time when I don't know if he necessarily ever, like, was trying to separate himself from Star Trek, but, like, he got
He
a
wasn't.
lot. Yeah, he got a lot of hate.
No. Yeah, so what it was
Yeah.
was Will Wheaton's relationship with the production was not bad. His relationship with acting in this television show was not great.
Yeah.
And that a lot of that actually doesn't come down to either the people working on the show or the people working on or the audience. A lot of it came down to his family, who
Yeah.
are
I
the
think you
ones
said
that
his
pushed him into acting
parents
in
were,
the
like,
first
really
place.
bad.
Yeah, no,
That's
his
right.
Yeah, I
parents
think-
sucked
So-
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
so
we
there
talked
was
about this a while ago.
lot of problems there, and the reason that he moved away from TNG, also partially to, you know, try to push into other acting a little bit, but also
Yeah,
he got out of acting a little bit.
Yeah, I think he was, I think at least at first he was, like, trying to be a film actor.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of, like, wanted to step away from acting for a bit. And then,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did feel that being on TNG was limiting his career, so there is that, because he did want to go for film roles, but at this point it had been a couple of years since he had technically left TNG, because I think it was season 5 that they dealt with that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he's been back a couple of times since then, but the thing is that as a reoccurring guest star, or even, like, in this case, not even a guest star, but as a
Special
reoccurring
appearance.
Yeah,
just
for, like,
small appearance. He was
yeah,
like, oh
it's-
yeah, that's fine. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, showing up for, like, one episode here or there is, like, yeah, it's obviously much less
Yeah,
of a
though
commitment.
he did flat out say that after he left TNG, he ended up being quite surprised by how much he missed, like, being on the show. Like, a lot of it was just he actually had a very good rapport with the cast, and he's
Yeah.
good friends with a lot of them to this day. But yeah, he wasn't. There were also issues where he was having like some scheduling conflicts when he was working on TNG because he was trying to do other things at the time, and like the production wasn't really working well with him on that. Like they weren't really prioritizing him on that, and he wasn't really surprised by that because he didn't have star power on it. So like that they're like, well, you're less important. But yeah, so he didn't have a bad relationship with it in the end, and he did. He
just
did
had
end up,
like other shit going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I feel like there's. I mean, I guess there's only two I can think of, like that actors who leave Star Trek end up like regretting it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But in reality, the only two I know of are Will Wheaton and oh god, I forgot her name. The actress who played Tasha Yar. How do I?
Oh, yes, Denise Crosby.
Denise Crosby, yeah.
Yeah. She left and regretted it quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are other actors who stayed on for the show who were not necessarily happy with it, like Robert Beltran, and he was very, very vocal about that. But also, like, over the years, he has turned going into conventions into, like, a big money making thing for him.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I don't think he feels too horrible about it in the end.
No. That's the good thing about being on, like, Star Trek is, like, once you're done with the show, you have the convention circuit. And you have, like, autograph stuff. Like, you can, you know, sort of, you know, you're not going to be, like, a millionaire, but you can, like, maintain some sort of income off of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything else we want to say about the episode?
Not the episode, but okay. I watched Strange New Worlds. There was an episode where it's like you're basically watching a documentary. Honestly, not a great episode, but the part that really like got me fired up, other than it was not a good episode, according to that version of the Enterprise, there are cameras everywhere. There are cameras at every fucking seat. There are cameras.
They say that?
They don't say it. They show it. In the documentary, they make it seem like you're watching, like the guy who makes the documentary has clipped together a fuck ton of surveillance video and has it make it look like there are cameras at every fucking seat on the bridge. Like there are multiple cameras on the fucking bridge, like aerial view of the fucking bridge. And I was like, their AV team must be working their asses off.
Yeah.
I don't know what the how we went from, because obviously this is at post Brave Strange New Worlds. I will constantly make this error in name. But I was like, I cannot believe there are that many fucking cameras in that Enterprise, and I'm possibly in this Enterprise, but I don't know. But I'm like, and how do they not see everything that fucking happens on this ship? Any mystery should be fucking solved within 5 minutes by calling the AV team and being like, hey guys, what the fuck's going on?
I mean, I think
and then going back to the footage. And I don't know if it is the same case with this Enterprise of having a bajillion secret fucking well, not secret, but like cameras every fucking spot on the Enterprise. Okay, here's the thing. This might be an entirely me problem because I do not think that Strange New Worlds went into that episode with the rationale of like, what if the Enterprise canonically had a bajillion security cameras, and only to be like, to like retcon the idea that like, not retcon, that's not the right word, but like that in the Enterprise of TNG, as it is more in the future, that they in theory would also have a bajillion surveillance cameras everywhere. Therefore, all the fucking shit that has gone down, the AV team has possibly known about it and has done jack shit.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thought there.
I think it's probably, I'm assuming it's a nod to like how, you know, in order to get some of the fucking footage they get on the show, there would have to be fucking cameras everywhere.
Yeah, I'm assuming they did it specifically like for this episode, because for that particular episode of Strange New Worlds, but I was like, if this is the earlier version of the Enterprise, there's no way they'd have a less technologically advanced Enterprise in the future.
Yeah, that's just kind of consistently a problem with the Strange New Worlds, just because that's the difficulty with making like a prequel series.
Yeah. So I'm just like, there's no way that they thought about this the way that it was going to make me feel.
No,
but it really
not.
did. Like, it gave me, like, while I was watching this episode, I was texting with my friend and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't understand how there's that many fucking security cameras on the Enterprise and they still are like, oh, how did that person die? Like when like a murder mystery episode, I was like, if there are that many fucking cameras and there'd be fucking cameras, and in that episode there are cameras in the fucking shuttlecrafts. So I'm like, there should be no mystery ever what fucking goes on this ship.
No.
Except if you're in like private quarters. But I was like, what? There's cameras in sickbay. Like there's cameras. There was a camera in Strange New Worlds that was like in the like monitor screen, like from the inside of it. So you would like see the rest of the room from inside the monitor. And I'm like, what do they have then on our TNG Enterprise? Is it hidden cameras? Like we can't see them? Do they decide to cut down on all the surveillance cameras because it's fucking invasive? But it's a government, well, not a government, it's like a military thing. So maybe they need to document. But I was like, they don't understand how much this has now fucked me up. Like, it's not anything wrong per se, but I am now spiraling because of the amount of security cameras there were in Strange New Worlds.
I will say, I think you're letting this get to you a little bit too much.
I think because I have fixated on the AV Club from the start, and now that it's been revealed, I mean, I guess we've had moments where there have been AV Club things, but like the AVB team.
Yeah.
But this was to an extreme level that I'm just like, oh my God.
I think a good explanation is that they just changed their policy on how many fucking cameras there are over the years.
Yeah, that's what I have to hope, because in terms of a continuity, I am like, the amount of cameras are like breaking me.
Yeah. But I mean, we have had the discussion before about how the AV team is dropping the ball consistently.
Oh, for sure. But this is before Strange New Worlds brought out the camera at every fucking seat.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, because up until now I could suspend my disbelief of there being random cameras like throughout the ship.
Yeah.
But then the way they did it on Strange New Worlds, where there's a camera at every fucking seat on the bridge and like overhead at the bridge and like in these monitors, and I'm like,
that's an accidental implication for sure.
Yeah, so now it was like the top thing on the whole episode. It was I did not like that episode, but I was like kept thinking about the number of security cameras, and I'm like, what do they have? What do they really have going on our Enterprise then that maybe I just don't know about? Because I don't think they've ever talked about or clocked the security cameras to this level on Strange New Worlds up until this episode.
No.
So I was like, if they haven't done it 3 seasons in until right now, after 7 seasons, what do they have on the fucking Enterprise that we still don't know about?
They've never really addressed cameras in general in Star Trek, I'm realizing.
No, they don't. They don't like outwardly address like what it is that's going on when they have footage of something.
Well, it's made me like, it's stressed me out to probably a level that does not need to be, but I'm just now like, it's because it's been something I've focused on since the beginning, and now I'm like, now it feels like it's been like brought to like the highest possible way you could sort of do it. And that it's validating that, there's like a bunch of cameras, but I'm like, oh, there's too many cameras. There's way more cameras I could have ever anticipated on the Enterprise. So how many cameras are there really on our Enterprise that I just don't know about? So, like, oh God. How many people then are on the AV team?
Dory,
is it a big team? Do they have an office? I don't know. I don't know now. I'm going to spiral about the AV team.
Dory, you know that you're not on the Enterprise, right? You're not being watched.
I do. No, I know that. But the idea that like, that so many things have now happened on the Enterprise where like the AV team just checking the like video logs could have solved a lot of shit. So I'm like, what are you guys doing? Do you guys get like not paid hourly, because I don't know that you just
I think though, although interestingly,
you guys just
now that
show
you're
up for
talking about
work
it, I think it
possibly.
is.
I don't know.
I think it is an interesting reflection on the way the world has changed, where back in like when they were producing TNG, it was the world, especially like the United States, was not so heavily surveillanced. And then like in the ensuing decades, like we've become very accustomed to being surveilled with like way more security cameras. Everyone's phone has a camera, like you never know when you're being filmed, like all that sort of shit. So I think that's probably reflected in the way they did that episode that's produced, you know, in the present.
Maybe they were doing a document. God, I don't know how to explain this documentary without it.
No. But what I mean
spoilers,
is just
but
that, like, I think like
the amount of cameras are relative to the world that we currently live in 2025, not the versus the like number of cameras in the 1990s is not. So I think like the 2025 brain of a show that takes place prior to this is like, because you could find ways, because this is more future, to like hide those cameras. Or maybe they just decided, hey, maybe we should cool it with the fucking cameras. Maybe we don't need a fucking camera at every fucking seat in the bridge.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't know.
they
but I
did
do
eventually,
think it's...
They did eventually change their mind about letting women be captain, so maybe maybe they changed their minds about having so many fucking security cameras.
Yeah. So I think the only reason just is like, this has been something I was like, I need to bring this up because it has been something I have brought up with the AV team multiple times, that I'm like, now that I've seen this episode, this AV team, what are you guys doing? What do they even do? What are they doing? How do they spend their time? Because it's not working.
Yeah. Maybe
just like how many cameras
they got rid of the AV department.
I don't know, because I feel like in the last few seasons we have had moments that were like saved the day by the AV team, but I can't think of anything specific. But true. I don't know. I feel like this is in the same vein of like Le Mans, of like, this probably isn't a really big deal. It's just something I fixate on and have been thinking about for the past 5 years. So probably not a big... probably nothing to most people, or probably even people who watched that episode of Strange New Worlds, probably not like, wow, there's a lot of security cameras that are going around here. I don't know how many people were thinking about that in the way that have really been thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who are like, you know, have the general like, you know, how is anything a mystery on this fucking ship with so many cameras?
Yeah. I just wonder if anyone else thought of like, wow, they have a lot of cameras compared to the other Enterprises.
I mean, probably. People do bitch about, like, things being, you know, canon and correct chronologically and all that shit, so I'm sure you're not necessarily alone.
Okay, good, because I would hope someone else would think of this other than me. But yeah, that's, I guess, it. I just needed to share this AV team surveillance information with you guys and whoever listen and our listeners. So that is AV team corner from me.
Fair. All right, Jeff, you have anything else you want to bring up?
No, not particularly. I did find it kind of neat that this is something a lot of people wouldn't pick up on, and Dory probably wouldn't pick up on it because it was it's a moment of lore that she hasn't learned much about yet. But the Bajorans are the bad guys in one of these universes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I said that they switched that. with the that's why I said I was
sorry, I missed that.
Oh no, because I was like, in a universe where Ro is not allowed to be on the Enterprise and that we couldn't know Ro, that is horrifying to me.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to me because like it's almost what's the word? It's almost tone deaf to do that. Simply because of like how much of an allegory the Bajorans are. It's sort of like saying, well, what if white people were oppressed? And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... I don't think it's the worst, like, analogy in the world. Like, not your analogy, but, like, in terms of making the Bajorans, like, aggressive, I don't think is necessarily, like...
Well, it's not just making them aggressive. There is a Cardassian at the helm in that moment, in a Federation uniform.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the implication is that it's the what do you call it? It's the Cardassians who were the oppressed ones, and the Bajorans were the fascists. And I'm just like,
well, no, don't they say that, like, the Bajorans, like, sort of got really aggressive after they were liberated or something?
Did they say that? Was that a line?
They said something along those lines, I'm pretty sure.
Huh, okay.
Because-
Yeah,
could
there
be
was something
remembering wrong
about,
then.
I don't remember the exact wording of it, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, because...
There was something about them getting aggressive, something with the war. I don't remember, though, the specifics, but they were the villain in this
Yeah.
particular reality.
So the reason so what I was getting to is that, like, let's say the way I don't know if the way I remember it is correct, but let's for argument's sake, let's say the way I remember it is correct, is that, like, they got aggressive after they were liberated and stuff like that. It does make some sense, because it's not unheard of for an oppressed people to, like, in the aftermath, sort of fall into fascism and shit like that.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. I mean, it is a very reactionary, almost defensive position.
Yeah. And...
So, okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
and I don't want to spoil anything, but when we get into DS9, we see that the Bajorans do sort of flirt with this at some points, so...
Okay, yeah. In the end, I thought the episode handled tone mostly really well, but there is one exception.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because the episode starts off as like a comedy, and then it goes into like more of a sci-fi mystery thing with a good amount of, like, it's focusing on character, and it does a very good job of that throughout its different, like, genre switches and whatnot. But I think that the comedy at the beginning actually makes all of the character stuff in the more serious part of the episode land better. But the existential dread of Riker in a doomed universe showing up out of nowhere, that's a bit much.
A bit much?
Like, I like the scene, personally, but I don't think it fits with the tone of the episode at that point, because that is, like, he is fucking horrified, and the episode is not going to deal with the ramifications of the absolutely major ethical question they just brought up of, this guy is desperate and everyone around him is dead. What do we do?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you let him die.
Yeah, I think it is brushed off a little bit, but I don't agree.
Yeah, I do
that
like
it
the
doesn't.
scene.
Yeah, I
It,
don't.
like, it's too bad because
I don't agree that it doesn't fit.
Okay. Yeah, it's too bad because, like, Riker delivers it really well, and, like, there isn't much in it. Like, there's only a few lines, but they are, like, they convey a really interesting premise that we will never get to see.
Mm-hmm. But I was gonna say earlier, I've forgotten to bring it up, but yeah, that the sort of desperate Riker always fucks me up, because
yeah,
like, that always, and I like getting a taste of that. Like, I don't know, I think, like, I don't think it's too much, honestly. I think it, like, really, like, really exemplifies the sort of, like, vastly different possibilities that are out there for how things could have gone, and to just, like, sort of, and I don't hate, leaving you with this, like, sort of disturbing thing and not really getting deeper into it, like, just having that sort of linger with you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was too much, honestly. I thought it was
Okay, that's
brushed
fair.
off too quickly, but I don't think it was too much.
All right.
All right, I think it's fair to move on to favorite moments and lines.
I liked Worf's reaction to Data giving him a painting, his birthday painting. A painting. I liked Troy. Ooh, I liked this when Worf was asking Troy to be his stepsister. And then she's like, that would make my mother your stepmother. And then just the pure panic in Worf's face. And then him going, I had not considered that. It is a risk I am willing to take. I thought that was really great. I liked Worf's trust in Troy. I don't know. Because I don't love the relationship, but I do like their friendship dynamic. So like, I'll take what I can get. I guess then, like, those are my two, I think, favorite parts. But I think in general, like, the episode is great.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'll leave that at.
Yeah. What are my favorite bits? I mean, ironically, one of my favorite bits is the thing at the end with the alternate universe, like, super desperate Riker, where, like, the Borg have just overrun everything and everything's all fucked up. I just kind of I always see it interesting, like, I just like when, you know, you have a character that's normally, like, to see Riker in that way is really, like, effective. Like, it invokes a lot in me. To see a character who's usually, like, so, like, sort of calm and, you know, no nonsense, always, like, you know, trying to come up with the next idea, like, you know, doesn't give up very easily. To see him in that desperate of a thing is, like, really evocative.
Oh, sorry. I totally forgot Wesley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I liked seeing Wesley again. I also liked the way that they reveal that Troy and Worf are married. I thought was really fun. The way they played out that whole scene.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, those were my favorites.
So, okay, I have two favorite moments. One of them is a little sillier. And I love Worf just kind of, like, really awkwardly and nervously glancing around at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
When he's walking down the hallway with Riker. I don't know what it is about it, but something about the way that Michael Dorn carries that is just, like, you never see Worf freaked out like that, so I'm very amused by it. And he delivers it extremely well. Like, his acting is fantastic in this episode, but he's given a lot of range in the episode as well, and, like, he plays both comedy and serious moments quite well in this, and I really enjoy that. But the other one is Data asking him if he wants him to look into when his and Troy's first sexual encounter was.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And just the way that he delivers that line is just fuck. How exactly does it go? It's like, I can investigate for you, and Worf is just like, that won't be necessary. Good shit.
Nice.
But there is technically a weird moment of what might be a little bit of not a continuity error, but like a lore error in it, because the Argus array is is described as being only 3 light years away from away from the border with the Cardassian Union. And the thing about, like, 3 light years is not that far in Star Trek standards, and in the grand scheme of the galaxy, it's not that far either. Like, the closest star to Earth besides Sol is Alpha Centauri, which is 4 light years away. So, like, all in all, this is really not that far from the border. However, it is stated that the array was telescoping at various things various shipbuilding facilities, and one of them was Utopia Planitia, which, if I'm not
That's
if I'm
like
not
at Mars,
mistaken,
isn't it?
I can't remember if it's Mars or if it's one of the gas giants. But yeah, it's in the standard Sol system or
Yeah,
Earth
it's in Earth's
star system.
solar system. Yeah.
And like, I'm just sitting there thinking, why did they need to hack this device, this telescope thing, to look at Earth's to look at Earth's ship-making capabilities, if just 3 light years away is their border and they could make their own telescope to look at that?
Yeah.
Like, that just seems really far.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily far. That's like halfway across Federation space, my guess is.
And this is a
So,
favorite?
I don't know. I think it's just an oversight. This isn't a favorite moment. It's just something I wanted to point out. I think it's just an oversight, and they wanted something to look like kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I'm also really amused that I caught it. Because it's such a small detail. It's literally just they named Utopia Planitia.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they had named it in Star Trek up until this point.
Yeah. All right. Time for predictions for the next episode. So the next episode, I think we could call it a Riker episode, if I remember correctly. It's called The Pegasus.
Oh, boy.
And so your little tidbit about the episode is that one of Riker's former commanders comes on board. And Riker suspects that there's more to what he's there for than he says.
Sorry, you said his former commanding
Commander.
officer?
Yeah.
Commander.
From, I guess this is important, from the starship Pegasus.
Okay.
He...
Okay.
Yeah.
He's in love with Riker, and he's come to... And this is he's come because he wants to be with Riker. He hears Riker is single and is like, let's do it. There's no more power imbalance. No, I'm joking. Obviously, no.
So, this commander, he comes on board for the Enterprise for a reason. And as the episode goes on, Riker suspects there's more. It's maybe not what he said he was there for.
Okay. So, maybe... Okay.
So,
Let me think of a real answer.
Yeah.
Okay. What if he is on the run for war crimes, but is like, yeah, I just like hanging out with you guys because you're going to somewhere where I am going, and for like a little break, but he's really going to that spot, and then he's gonna like, there's like maybe another ship waiting at this spot for him to like fucking leave, and he's gonna zigzag to just try to evade the Federation because he's in like hot water with them. He's in trouble.
okay.
So he presents as like, yeah, and just like, this is like for lulz, but in fact they're after him because he did war crimes. I went from like, oh, he's secretly in love with Riker to war crimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's Star Trek.
Yeah, war crimes seems more realistic than than someone being secretly in love with Riker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with war crimes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, basically, just to sum up, like, he's like, hey, can you give me a ride to wherever? And they're like, sure. And then it turns out he's like actually a fugitive, and they've unwittingly helped him. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He's bumming a ride off them to like, and maybe he's like, maybe it's not weird, so there's no reason for them to like, maybe he says he's like on leave or something, so there's no reason if he's off duty that they would need to like report back to Starfleet of like, hey, this guy's on our ship, that cool, right? Because like if he's off duty, doesn't really matter what he's doing. So, but he's been relieved of duty, and they just don't know this yet because there would be no like, and there he chose the Enterprise because he's like, oh, I know Riker, and he's not gonna like question me, but JK, Riker will question you. Yeah, war
Okay.
crimes,
Sweet.
fugitive.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to see if Dory's correct, watch along with us and join us for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.